position here on US 30. This is something I'm not usually doing. Usually I'm trying to catch my trades closer to the bounce. You know, get in down here, put my stop loss right there, really tight stop loss. But so I took a smaller, just one lot, one share here, because this breaking up against that is kind of more of a breakout play. And I've noticed, like, if you go back here and look here, I'm not sure where I'll see it, but that, you know, a lot of moves will happen like this where you get a strong move to the upside and then it just keeps going off of this bounce. So, you know, my stop loss is way down here, which I don't like. You know, that is not something I'm that comfortable with. But on the other hand, I've seen this happen quite often. Like here, if I'd missed this move here, bounce all the way up to this top resistance. So that's what that is. And then it kept moving. So kind of this might be a fractal of this here. Yeah, we'll just see how it plays out. I mean, this, everything else is in line here. We have the switch, the flip here. I didn't get the retest of this, which is what I was waiting for, but this is starting to look like the retest. Might come back down and retest, and then I jumped in too early. But also sometimes we just see it moving in the direction. So I'm not going to stress it. It's not a huge risk for me. But this is something I wanted to push myself on. You know, don't try to catch that bottom, because sometimes, you know, I might say, oh, there's my confirmation, get in, and it's actually not. I mean, this kind of candle is a massive confirmation. Likewise, this candle is a massive confirmation. So we will see. We will see. The other thing, though, that I'm a little hesitant on this is if I go to the 15, technically this is a downtrend. So trying to go long on a downtrend like this, it's pushing it for sure. Like this is bullish, lots of momentum to the upside, lots of buyers breaking both these moving averages. But the fact that these haven't even crossed yet is not good. It's not good for a long position. Like this could easily reverse on the 15. So I think we're going to go back to the one. I'm going to get out of this. You know, fine, tiny win. You know, really, I'm just going to say this for myself. Like, if I see the 15 clear downtrend, higher, you know, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low. Like, yeah, we could get up to here. But until these cross, this comes up and does something like that. This is a downtrend on the 15. So really, what I need to do is not count on these longs and wait for a reversal here and take that as in a short. You know, we could get a move here. This is kind of a double bottom. This could be the reversal on the 15, which this would be an epic move, but I'm not trying to guess which way it's going to go. I just read the charts, and on the 15, this is absolutely a downtrend, 100% textbook. So, you know, I can see here it's starting to go. It's still going in my direction. Take those guys off. I don't like to see that. You know, that was Okay, so a good thing about that trade is I'm pushing myself to really wait for that massive confirmation. Like I might not catch the bottom, but these candles confirm that as a bounce. This candle confirmed that as a bounce, and you can see it is. Why'd I exit? I don't like that I'm going long, and the 15 is definitely downtrend. We'll see what happens here. In reality, what I should be waiting for is let this pump up, wait for these to flip. For example, this could be my last lower high on this little move. And it may not, like I said, the 15 could be reversing. But if it's not, what could happen here, or we get a little lower low here, sorry, a higher low here, and then, let's say it goes up. I like to do this, just kind of mentally practice, maybe come down and bounce that. These lines flip, come back. Actually, what probably most likely, usually what will happen is you'll have like, let's say that moves up from here, then you could make kind of head and shoulders. Usually you get like another try, but it doesn't make it. Come down. This would be the first lower low kind of thing, kind of idea. Or sometimes it's online, like the last one, which is classic head and shoulders, and bounce. These lines have flipped, and then you go short, especially the fact that the 15 is bearish. So we'll see. I mean, it could run to the moon. And will I be upset that I got out? No, actually, I'm not. I think my analysis is pretty fair. Now, if the 15 flips, these lines flip, we break these moving averages, get a higher low, great. Like, look at the upside here. Boom, like it could move all the way up to any of these spots. Let's see if I can find an example. This has been on an uptrend for a while. So, I mean, you go up to the 1 hour and we're probably bullish, like uptrend. But this is, look at this. This is interesting. You have a steep rise on all those, but then the rise starts to lessen. And that's usually a sign of a reversal. So what happens is you can get like a pump, maybe, then you start getting a lower high. So yeah, here's another way to look at this. This actually looks like a channel, but sometimes it can start going into a peak. But this looks more like a channel it broke out of, something like that. And we're getting, less buy pressure to the upside. So, in that case, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We've already broken this last higher low, really technically. So it could just collapse from there. I would want to see a retest. So again, although this is an uptrend, I'm not going to deny that it's losing steam. So back to the 15, we are down this little downtrend on the 15, which is, you can see now these are those peaks. So it could break. That could be, we could see a reversal now, and to make that low, I'm kind of expecting that there could be a lower high, or it could push right back to that line. But that's double bottom. Go to the 1 minute. What's happening? Not getting that big move, so it's kind of flattening out here. What could happen too is break attach that, you know, and technically that would be my play because we've crossed here, come back and touch the 50. You know, if we get a bullish bounce, maybe. I try not to stay with my expectations, like that this is bearish. It's a funny thing. You want to not expect the market to go in one way, but reading it, this, other than this double bottom, and this is bullish divergence, it's kind of higher here. I'll draw that out. You know, that's bullish divergence. So there are signs of a reversal here on the 15. And this maybe it's starting to play out on the 1. So if we get down to the 50 again and I can get a tighter entry, yeah, maybe. And okay, and we wait. So what's going on with the US dollar? You know, this is interesting because they're usually like 90% of the time inversely correlated. So we're getting a down movement on the US dollar. So it's not surprising that the US 30 is going up, US dollar, Canadian dollar. And on the 15, yeah, so this is a massive uptrend that could potentially be breaking down. You can see the moving averages are about to cross here. Let's clean up this chart. Oh. Okay. This would be, it's just broken the last lower high. So you can see here, I like to draw the line. Just breaking it now. So a breakout trader might try to take that, but it can fake you out and go right back up. What for me to get in, it's got break, come back, test. Sometimes that will be also a test of a moving average. Maybe these guys come down like that, come down sharp right through the 50. And then a bullish, or sorry, in this case bearish, but a confirmation candle to the downside. This is the 15-minute, okay, and what's going on the 1 hour. I actually keep all these charts on my other screen. So 1 hour here, you know, this was a downtrend that broke not so cleanly, like the lines crossed here. That would be your lower high, came down, broke through it, bounced off, came through it, but then you can see eventually it actually holds as support over here. So sometimes the move comes in time. You know, here these lines cross the 9 and 21, come up, bounced off the 50. You know, this is back to what I was saying earlier. Like I might not catch that dead bottom, but that kind of bullish confirmation candle, you get in on it, you can see a move. So again here, you know, this sort of crossed all together with that big candle. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it scares me getting in that high away from moving averages, but again, you can see it work. So yeah, so that's the 1 hour US dollar, Canadian dollar uptrend, but at a high, you know. So it's not surprising that it's going to come down. It might want to come down to the 50, like a strong move. Yeah, I mean, that could be it too, to the 21. But we'll call this an uptrend with signs of retracing. And we can see it's playing on the 15. And it's definitely playing on our 1 minute. You know, this could be a bounce zone. Back to US 30, which I really have my eyes on here. Still flattening out, kind of making a flag. I'm still thinking it's going to come down to test something here, especially because US dollar, Canadian dollar has kind of made this bottom with that long wick. It's also in line with these bottoms. So I'm not saying this is going to be a full reversal, but I definitely can see it coming up and testing one of these moving averages, which would, because it's inversely correlated, probably bring this down to these zones, which, because yeah, the 15 is still bearish. 1 hour, where's that? Go back and take a look. 1 hour, you're losing that kind of steep rise. Like every movement comes at some point to an end. And that's the game, is figuring out when and where and how. You know. So we play the game. You know, all these moving averages on the 1 hour flip, and now even you can see nowhere here, even though they moved through the lower moving averages moved through the 50 and the 200 or the 100. Here they've actually all flipped in order. So you can see when it's an uptrend, you have the purple on the bottom, red, white, and blue all on this uptrend. But when we're in a downtrend, you have it's flipped. Excuse me. So this is your downtrend, this is your uptrend. So when all those lines break through on the 1 hour, the purple, you're basically, you're going for a nice dip, which they just did on the 1 hour US 30 cash. So again, this is very bearish. And you go to the 1 minute, and it's pumping. So again, this gives me less confidence even than ever, especially because the 15 is also technically a downtrend. It would take a lot to move it up through there. For all these reasons, this is not a strong uptrend. And in fact, I'm looking for a short, probably. You know, we might see this double bottom type scenario. Oh shit, I didn't even know my camera was on. That's hilarious. It's early, so I'm like, fuck, I'm a caveman or something. And again, here we are, we wait. So let's look at that trade I actually put in. So it was like, I feel fine about getting in, especially because I didn't lose anything. And I also feel fine about closing it. I got in because of this, and that's something I'm pushing myself on. That really confirmation candle, and you don't need to catch the dead bottom. And then I got out because you're looking at the higher time frames, and it's not looking like this could really move, quite frankly. So it doesn't look like it'll move to the upside. It looks like it should really move to the downside. I don't know if anyone watches this. I should check. One day I'll make a YouTube account, like a real one. You can see a little bounce up to 21. This may be where, again, I could be completely wrong. Like, time is it? 6:30. You know, at 6:30, this thing could absolutely go fucking parabolic. I don't know. But let's just say this: if I get confirmations for short, I'm taking that fucking thing, because there's too many things that point short to me. And of course, I could be wrong. You know, that's the thing with trading. You can be wrong at any moment. Just protect, as long as you protect yourself from catastrophic losses, then you know it's actually okay to be wrong. And that's probably one of the hardest things to learn and to get over. Is you not only you don't have to be right all the time, you're not going to be right all the time. So really, where you really, how do I put this, to be right in risk management is really where you win. Be pretty crazy if it just follows exactly. Power is supposed to go out at 7, 6:20. I can't jump to Wi-Fi on my phone and use my laptop, which is charged, if need be. That's funny. I can watch myself on YouTube. One person watching. It's me. It's a little lag time. That's hilarious. What a boring stream. uh, wow, I got 89 views in the last 28 days. Who? Really? Views? Wow. People, I got 66 views on one video. Amazing. I got one new subscriber. Who are my subscribers? Any comments? That would be sweet. Oh, you gotta be so patient. Oh.
Now, this is built upon our conversation that we had on Sunday, in which we spoke about how others show up with meetings saying the same things that we imagine them to say. I've been noticing this increasing more so in my life, as well as I've been noticing many have been communicating to me about their own experiences of this same phenomenon. People are saying the same things that we're imagining about them. And so then each individual starts to consciously imagine how they want people to truly be, which is really a representative of how they see themselves to be. And it plays out in the experiences, in the conversation, in the relationship, personal life, business life, etc. And so thus today in this video, I want to further encourage this because we all have goals, we all have visions, we all have definite future, and we all want harmonious relationships in these things to be in mutual contribution, benefit to others, benefit to ourselves, benefit the relationship that plays out. Now, William Walker Atkinson has an interesting quote as I was reflecting on this for further insights today. This quote right here stood out. He says, "To one who has the sense of oneness, the world broadens out immeasurably. In fact, to such a one, the universe is the world, and all that it contains seems akin to himself. He feels so close to everything and everyone. All are parts of the one." So this is another way of saying the same thing that we talked about in Sunday's video. I'll put the description too. And this is what we want to suggest to our young. So I brought this up before. Let's get into it. In one of his books, he brings up 5 classes of suggestions to further encourage certain thinking patterns of what we would see in relationship with others. It represents how we truly want to be and how we want others to be, which is actually how we see ourselves. And others play out the theater of how we see ourselves. So we have goals, we have visions, and this would be personal goals, relationship goals, etc. And what we want to do is we want to observe what are we suggesting to ourselves in regards to others. You could say unconsciously what we say unconsciously. This plays out in our relationships. And as we develop a heightened degree of awareness, awareness of, we're aware.
You know, this could be our last lower high here. Obviously, I'm anticipating a move. But you can see here, like this is pretty much sort of a fractal of the 1 hour. You have a pretty strong momentum, but then it starts tapering off. You can see from here to here. You see, and if you remember, go back to the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour. Right? Why am I confused now? Yeah, there it is. See, we had momentum, and it starts tapering off. I almost had a similar angle as the 1 minute. See that? Maybe this is a little steeper. Your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, break, test, enter. That's the game plan right now. Also, this is bearish divergence on the RSI. You have it trending down when this was trending up. The confluences are many.
What a person says, and we can extract that to the thoughts within ourselves in relation to also develop a higher degree of relationship between conscious and subconscious, and consciously choose in conversation or as we consume information what we want to believe. Because, as I have mentioned many times, you are the only interpreter, and anyone can suggest anything to you, but at the end of the day, we are actually suggesting to ourselves in relation to what. So first we have suggestion of authority. He says, suggestion of authority manifests both in the positive authoritative state.
Now, if everything looking bullish on the higher time frames, this would be a possible entry point. Bouncing off the 50 with confirmation, and it very well might. It could bounce all the way back up to here, but definitely my bias is bearish. Waiting to see like breakdown. These lines crossing and a retest. So it may be here for a while, waiting for that. There could be a pump like off this. Especially if you get a really strong wick and a nice candle. But just because the 15 and the 1 hour are showing signs, are actually the 15 is in a downtrend, and the 1 hour is looking weak in its uptrend. I'm not looking for this play. And again, I could be completely wrong and it just bounces off here and goes to Valhalla. But you need to find as many things to support your thesis as possible. And for me, I just don't see it. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, if these lines cross here, again, that'll be another confluence. The 9 is the blue, 21 is the white. Now, in the past, I was trading like this. Like you get a wick here and the next one comes down and touches, and I was just get in right there. Sometimes I would get absolutely killer entries, like sniper entries. But sometimes I'd snag it and it just starts collapsing. And then where you put your stop, it's like, in a way, it's not the worst because you got to be committed, like, it's that you get out. But sometimes it like wicks through and goes back, so it starts breaking down. I'm like, maybe it's just gonna wick. Fuck. So it's like you have to be so committed to just cutting it if it breaks, and then sometimes it will go back against you and you'll feel like shit. But in the end, your wins are better.
And also by the spoken or written statements.
There we go, 6:30. Yes, it's 6:30. I knew it. Can you imagine? You get in there. Okay, this could wick. I don't know. At 6:30, the market goes absolutely bananas sometimes. That's 9:30 Eastern. Also at 5:30.
Again, this is our own perception in relation to what we consider authority. So we know this in communication when it comes to direct response marketing, consultative selling, and copyright. Those that understand these areas as communication.
Let's see what's happening with our US 30. Oh yeah, see, it's made a move to the upside. I mean, US Canadian dollar got rejected. That's a pretty strong play. Seeing that candle getting in. What's the story again on the 15? Yeah, uptrend, about to cross maybe. And also the 1 hour uptrend. The fact that both these are uptrending on the 1 hour is this is that's a downtrend on the close 1 hour, but zooming out, what's the story? This is coming off a bottom, and really US 30, you can see how it kind of inverse, like this is almost, again, in a way, this gives me confidence that this is the US 30s coming down. They don't move in the same direction. So this has already had a long move to the upside, which was a lot of the trend. The US dollar, Canadian dollar is really putting in some moves to look bullish. I mean, it looks like probably retrace, but overall, whereas the US 30 is sitting at this top and rounding out. So because they're inversely correlated, I wish I could put the chart on top of it. You can see though, what might be in store. So this is looking time frames. So go back to the 15 uptrend, like it. Well, maybe wants to pull back a little in a minute. This bounce off the bottom here. I think I said that earlier, like that looks like a bottom with that wick. What's the RSI? Nothing, just normal, in line with the price. Okay, well, that didn't cross. This volume really pushed it up. Kind of, this is a top area. So we'll see. I mean, it could sideways chop for a while, so that's another thing too. It can either, here's the thing, it can either go up, it can either, or down, or sideways. There's literally three things it can do. Now, you want to catch those moves to the up or the down, and avoid the sideways chop. Really sucky. Yeah. I got about half an hour electricity here. I don't know. Sometimes they turn off the power early. They're fixing the lines. So. I might switch my Wi-Fi actually to my phone right now. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Mobile hotspot. Turn it on. Change over. I might have lost streaming there for a minute. I think I'm back. Okay, well, I could be completely wrong too. Now we're pumping to the upside. You know, this would have been a killer entry. Like, look at those wicks. And that's the thing too, you know, bias, having a bias can be a challenge because you may not see that as an entry, you know. In a way that's somewhat of a textbook, like here we come back and test that low. But I'm also training myself to trade more cautiously, take way less trades. So you can see we're starting to be in line with this. And this was kind of like this whole move could have been a retracement, and on a reversal, boom, and we're gone. So interesting. I might have anticipated that because of this rejection here was so strong and happened first. And then I see those wicks there. But also at 9:30 or 6:30 my Pacific time, markets just go berserk, and I don't really like to be in a position. I mean, it's good when you're winning, but you can really lose quickly. Now, let's say I am still right. I could be wrong. Let's clean this chart up now. Now it's kind of violated this idea. And we would look, this I guess would be a point to break. Let's see. Let's see how we're looking on the 15. Did we break anything? So still those two are not crossing. You know, if I pull this up to the 15, this is kind of what I would look for a reversal. These lines cross, this comes up, comes back and tests, and then gives me a bullish confirmation. So test this zone. You know, this wick here on the 50, on the 15 minute, still, it's still bear territory in my mind. And that's this big wick here. So we'll see how it plays out on the 1 minute. I guess this is really the last higher low. Now that we have a new higher high. It would have been this one had it just, you know, broken below it and retest and come down, but now it's really technically this one. So we see if it breaks below this. Yeah, I'm definitely short bias here, but you know, I could be wrong. Absolutely could be wrong. Like there's just no doubt about it. Like this could move all the way up to here. That's quite a move. This is the hour. That's the thing. Like we could get a whole lot of upside before downside and I'd still be right. You know what I mean? So this could be double bottom here. You have kind of a bullish divergence here. You know, this is kind of a head and shoulder on the RSI, or inverse head and shoulder type pattern. So really, yeah, I mean, there could be a move here to the upside. The 15 minute is bearish, but if it breaks here, like I said, you know, I would take that move for sure. Time frame, 1 hour, up into these regions. I still see this as a rounding top, but a rounding top can have a pump. Absolutely. So, you know, this 1 minute reversal that I was in, it could have been a great entry, but I have to go with my analysis on the time frames. I can't really trust along when the 15 is looking like this. So really the play now could be watch the 15 to cross here, break this and test it. And that, my friends, will take a while. On the 1 minute, if this starts breaking down, that's a different play. So you just kind of, the 1 hour shows signs of weakening on its uptrend, and yet can still have a little pump. The 15 is certainly in a downtrend, which could start that pump on the 1 hour if these lines cross, if this line is broken and it's retested. Right now, it's looking like still downtrend, still looking like it's getting rejected off the 50. And so we go down to the 1 minute in this pump. This is the rejection off the 15's 50. And it doesn't look like it's going to break that anytime soon. Like it could come back and test this and then go up, you know, bounce off the 9 or the 21 and go up. But I still, the overall trend that I'm expecting on the 1 hour is down. Although I think it could pump to a certain, you make another lower high. The 15, this is really my indicator of why I'm bearish right now. This is clear downtrend. This is clear, if it closes like this, clear rejection on the 50, which is a strong point of resistance or support, depending what side you're on. See here, it's supported there. That said, we have this divergence. So it's kind of, you know, let's go back and see, what did I do well today? I think taking this risk, which technically wasn't a lot of risk, but taking that chance on that move, seeing this bounce and then the strong candle and getting in, I got out. I would have actually gotten wicked out if I held it. So, but just pushing myself a little bit in that way. You can see it happen here as well, you know, waiting for a strong candle to confirm. Like Had I got in there, yeah, that would have been nicer on that move. But in this case, you can see even getting in up here, also a nice move. Stop loss below here. In this case, this I would have been wicked out on. So it actually didn't work. And had we gone back to this, wick here, long confirmation, that I don't think I would get. That's so much gap between where I would put a stop loss. Obviously it worked, but you have to be prepared to get out as well. Like, when are you going to get out? Here on the downside, like, this broke the 50, but then we have this confirmation here on that big candle. You get in around here, good play. Like, stop loss above there. Oh yeah, all the way down there. Here, this confirmation of going to the downside, even before these crossed. I mean, I probably wouldn't have taken that because they wouldn't have crossed yet. Let's say this is crossed now, these are all broken, confirmation candle here, you get in. Really, this would have not ever got stopped out, and you would have had a huge move. So learning every day. Refining, just really refining. Yes, I would have liked to take a trade, but I think now what's going on with US dollar, Canadian dollar. Definitely was a play there. Let's see that. So, this rejected here. That could have been our confirmation there. Put your stop loss there, boom. But also this long candle, there it is again, confirmation, boom. That's a bigger gap. But here again, like, rejected strongly off that 50, get in around here. It's a lot. So I just have to get a little bit, stretch myself to trust those big confirmation candles and go for it, get in. I don't see any here, something like that maybe, but I kind of lost momentum. So in this case, it broke through while these lines were still on the bull side. But then eventually, then it say crosses here, I just feel more confident. Okay, I'm going to move inside. I'm in my cabin. I'll be back. I'll reopen a stream if I enter a trade.